Similarly, the ritualistic performances, charity and austerity that are recommended in the Vedas may temporarily stop one from acting in sinful ways. But as long as the heart is not clear, one will have to repeat sinful activities again and again. Okay. So, a statement now, which is there in the conclusion of this paragraph, somebody can give me the Bhagavad Gita. I am here to confuse everybody. Huh? Yeah, Bhagavad Gita. See, the statement which is mentioned here is similarly, the ritualistic performances, charity and austerity, which are recommended in the Vedas, may temporarily stop one from acting in sinful ways. But as long as the heart is not clear, one will have to repeat sinful activities again and again. You see the statement, similar ritualistic performances, charity and austerity. Where do you hear this kind of a statement? Which are recommended in the Vedas may temporarily stop one from acting in sinful ways. But as long as the heart is not clear, one will have to repeat sinful activities again and again. There is a statement in the Bhagavad Gita which talks about Yajna Dana Tapa Pavanani Manishinaha. Where does the statement come? In which chapter? 17th chapter? Anybody is there online?
13.5, sir. 13.5.
Oh, you opened it already? Okay. The statement which Krishna says is Yajna Dana Tapa Karma Natyajyam Karyam Evatat Yajnodanam Tapaschaiva Pavanani Manishina. Acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up, but should be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great souls. But here the statement is similarly, the ritualistic performances, charity, and austerity, which are recommended in the Vedas, may temporarily stop one from acting in sinful ways. But as long as the heart is not clear, one will have to repeat such sinful activities again and again. But there's a kind of a contradictory statement between what Rupa Goswami is saying and what Krishna is saying.
No contradiction.
There's no contradiction?
No. The purity has to be sustained. What Krishna is saying is, it will bring purity. The purity also needs to be sustained. So it is not a one-time activity of performing charity and getting the benefit.
What do you mean by purity? That's something which has to be sustained.
So which will, prevent us from getting back to doing sinful activities. So that needs to be stopped. It has to be replaced with something else. So the sustenance of purity will enable us to stay away from sinful activities.
But aren't that purity is sustained by this Yajna Dana Tapa?
So continuously one has to keep doing.
So if they continuously to keep doing it, so then
but the heart
will get this is so on. One will have to repeat the sinful activities again and again.
Because so something else has to happen to purify the heart.
So these Yajna Dana Tapa are not purifying in nature. They're not going to purify the heart.
They are momentarily purifying the heart, but not a sustainable way of purifying the heart.
So let us read the purport. The yogi should perform acts for the advancement of human society. There are many purificatory processes for advancing a human being to spiritual life. The word used is to spiritual life. The marriage ceremony, for example, is considered to be one of these sacrifices. It is called Vivaha Yajna. Should a sannyasi who is in the renounced order of life and who has given up his family relations encourage the marriage ceremony? The Lord says here that any sacrifice which is meant for human welfare should never be given up. Vivaha Yajna, the marriage ceremony, is meant to regulate the human mind to become peaceful for spiritual advancement. For most men, this Vivaha Yajna should be encouraged even by persons in the renounced order of life. Sannyasi should never associate with women, but that does not mean that one who is in the lower stages of life, a young man should not accept a wife in the marriage ceremony. All prescribed sacrifices are meant for achieving the Supreme Lord. Therefore, in the lower stages, they should not be given up. Similarly, charity is for the purification of the heart. If charity is given to suitable persons, as described previously, it leads one to advance spiritual life. So the issue here is, the point here is that whatever we do, yajna, dana, tapaha, unless it leads to development of spiritual life, it is not of great use. We'll read the first three lines of this same paragraph. By performing Vedic ritualistic activities, by giving money in charity, and by undergoing austerity, one can temporarily become free from the reactions of sinful activities. But at the next moment, he must again become engaged in sinful activities. So, what is happening? There are ritualistic performances, there are charities, and austerities. So, these can be done in a way which can nullify the sinful activities with that objective. But the person who's doing the sinful activities is not looking at why am I doing sinful activities and why am I going through this method of undoing the reactions of sinful activities. The person does not know that there could be something else, the root cause of this thing, owing to which this is happening. Okay. So this is the fundamental issue here. The issue here is we are starting with the premise that I may have to continuously doing sinful activities knowingly or unknowingly, and hence I have to do something to undo the same. That is the objective, that is the goal at which the person is doing these activities. So now let's read on to the next paragraph.
Another example given in Srimad Bhagavatam concerns the elephant who enters into a lake and takes a bath very seriously, cleansing his body thoroughly. Then, as soon as he comes onto shore, he again takes some dust from the earth and throws it over his body. Similarly, a person who is not trained in Krishna consciousness cannot become completely free from the desire for sinful activities. Neither the yoga process nor philosophical speculations nor futile activities can save one from the seeds of sinful desires. Only by being engaged in devotional service can this be done.
Okay. So now we will analyze this paragraph a little carefully, especially the concluding statement of this paragraph seems to be very, what you call, focused on only one solution as the solution. Okay. So it should not be considered as like, my way, highway. Okay. But there seems to be a reason why the last line seems to be the way. Okay. So let's understand. So what is the example is given? The example is given of that of a elephant, which thoroughly takes nice bath in the river. But after coming to the shore, it takes the dust of the river bank and puts on itself. Okay. So similarly, a person who is not trained in Krishna consciousness cannot become completely free from the desire for sinful activities. The word used is desire for sinful activities. The issue is the sin. No, the issue is not the sin. The issue is desire for sinful activity. So let us read in the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, in the purport. What is 15th chapter? of Bhagavad Gita? Anybody who is there online? Somebody there online?
Yes,
It is-
Prabhu, the yoga of the Supreme Person.
Okay. So what is
Yoga of the
15th chapter
Supreme
of
Person.
Bhagavad Gita is all about?
This is a yoga of the Supreme Person.
There is a tree, there is an inverted tree on the shore of river, right? So that tree
The Parvata.
originally exists in spiritual world. The reflection is on
Material.
in the material world. Okay.
It's a
So
perverted
whatever
reflection.
things are there in the spiritual world, they are inverted things visible in the material. Okay. So now what is this tree is reflecting on? What is the tree reflecting on? Reflecting on the water,
Water.
right? So what is this water? So let us read in the paragraphs. Okay, I'll read this. Now, there is no ready experience in this world of a tree situated with its branches down and its roots upward. But there is such a thing. That tree can be found beside a reservoir of water. We can see that the trees on the bank reflect upon the water with their branches down and roots up. In other words, the tree of this material world is only a reflection of the real tree of the spiritual world. This reflection of the spiritual world is situated on desire, just as the tree's reflection is situated on water. Desire is the cause of things being situated in this reflected material light. One who wants to get out of this material existence must know this tree thoroughly through analytical study. Then he can cut off his relationship with it. See, such a very interesting statement which Prabhupada gives. That this reflection of the spiritual world is situated on desire. We have to carefully think about it in a introspect. Where am I now? Am I in this material world? Is the answer yes or no?
Yes.
Very much, very much.
So, I am technically speaking, I am still in the spiritual world. I am in a comatose stage. The soul is sleeping. But what is the soul is doing? The soul is identifying with some portion of matter. Some portion of matter. And now that some portion of matter is today this body, another portion of body is, some other later, it will go into another configuration of material body. Like that, the soul is keep on moving its focus. It is paying attention. Through what? Through what? Through this desire. Okay? So this reflection of the spiritual world is situated on desire. Whose desire? It is not Krishna's desire, not Narayana's desire, it is our desire. Okay? Narayana's desire is what? To cater to the desires of the living entities who are independent in nature. That's why he just creates a material world. That's all. He'll create that much only. That is what is material world. That is what is Narayana's dream is. Okay? But in that Narayana's dream, we desire something, and hence the spiritual world is situated on desire, just as the tree's reflection is situated on water. So you're getting the point, right? So just that we are not so powerful enough that we desire something and we create a material existence. No. Narayana also dreams, okay, just to ensure that we living entities are given a chance to act independently. Okay. So when we are reflecting, so desire is the cause of things being situated in this reflected material light. So there is a reflected material light in that the jivas are situated. So one who wants to get out of this material existence must know this tree thoroughly through analytical study. So we have to thoroughly know this material tree through this analytical study, and then he can cut off his relationship with it. As we go on, Krishna talks about in the third verse in the same chapter that The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends and where it begins, or where its foundation is. But with determination, one must cut down this tree with the weapon of detachment. With the weapon of detachment. So, knowledge, jnana, vairagya. Jnana and vairagya, with jnana and vairagya, we should cut down this tree. Okay. So now coming back, neither the yoga process nor philosophical speculations nor fruitive activities can save one from the seeds of sinful desires. Why is it so? Only by being engaged in devotional service can this be done. This is a very important thing which we should have that thorough conviction. Huh? Okay, I'll tell you, see, for example, fruitive activities very easily people will understand. A karma kanda is not good. Okay, no problem. Even philosophical speculation to some extent, people will say, "Ye to bahut dry hai bhaiya." When you go to the spiritual world, it has to be about activities. So you don't know about it, philosophical speculation, that we can understand. But how about the yoga process? How about the yoga process?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, even in yoga process, we
Why
have
can't the
some.
yoga process teach us detachment through which you can cut this material world, the tree of this material world, and go back to God? Why is the statement is only by being engaged in devotional service can this be done? Because now the whole thing is about cleansing the desire of the living entity. What is the exact issue here?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Devotional
Am I
service
audible?
is performed for somebody else. In this case, we are performing devotional service for Krishna. So we are establishing that connection with Krishna. Yoga becomes yoga when it is also performed in a similar manner. But most likely we may perform yoga for oneself in terms of asanas or whatever. And secondly, the time it takes in terms of getting the result is too soon in devotional service when you compare with the yoga.
I am talking about the right yogis who are looking towards Paramatmavadis. That is like there is a superior power which exists in this world. Okay. What does a Paramatma realized person do? Okay. He realizes that there is a superior power in this world and I should get connected to this world. And he believes that that connection is possible. And if I get connected, I get realized with the Paramatma. So I'm talking about that as compared to this.
So we take example of Dhruva. Dhruva also went, but it is only Narada who told him to that Paramatma how to address in terms of saying, Om Namo Narayana. Similarly, if we take elephant,
Gajendra.
Gajendra also, when Gajendra was praying, it was not really addressed to Narayan. Gajendra was praying, but the demigods were not responding because they knew it was not him. Until, Narayana then came. So, as Paramatma, you don't know who you are to address to. It could be anybody. So, in that context, anybody can come and say, I am Paramatma. So, which is what Hiranyakashipu also did when Brahma came, and Brahma gave certain sanctions or certain books, which had its own.
No. In Hiranyakashipu's case, there is a desire.
There's a desire.
Okay. I am talking about the Paramatmavadis, okay, who truly don't have any specific desire,
Any material desire.
Okay. They want to attain to Paramatma realization. Okay. Why that process is not effective enough as compared to only by being engaged in devotional service can this be done.
Devotional
Because
service.
it's a very, very strong statement. Okay. We are, reducing the whole set of solutions to only one set of solutions. Right? So why is it that?
So devotional service, there is a clear objective, Prabhu. It is performed for the pleasure of the Lord.
Hmm.
It is very clear. And when I'm giving him the pleasure, then naturally there is a exchange of that love and affection. Whereas with Paramatma, that is yet to happen.
That's the important point. That's the important point. In
They
the
are doing
case
it
of
for self.
Paramatma realization, the yogi does not understand that there is a reciprocation. The yogi only understands and appreciates the fact that this entire world is controlled by the Supreme Lord. There is one Supreme Lord is there. There is one Paramatma in the heart. He is there in every living entity's hearts. And because he is there in Anu Ya Mahato Mahiyan, he is there in every Anu. And he is the greatest of the greatest. And that's how he is able to control this world. Okay. But he does not have the functional understanding of the Jiva. He only has the understanding of the constitutional understanding that, I am a living entity, I have to be connected with, those Paramatma. Okay. So, Tattvamasi, that the whole thing is about, I am connected to the Supreme. That much only the understanding is there. There is no understanding of the reciprocal relationship. Okay. So that's how when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes out with the definition of the Jiva, he says, Jiva Swarupha Nityera Krishna Das. He gives the very specific understanding, a functional understanding of the living entity. That is missing. So we will read this is the context I'm setting. Okay, why this statement only by being engaged in devotional service can this be done? Now, when we read the next paragraph, we'll get more clarity. Okay, why this is a so strong statement? Even a Paramatma Vadi will have this deficiency. Now, we will read in the next paragraph. Because these all statements are concluding with what? That pure devotional service will give us complete relief from material distress. Right? So let's read on. Anya,
There is ample evidence in the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 22nd chapter, verse 31, wherein Sanat Kumara says, "My dear king, the false ego of a human being is so strong that it keeps him in material existence as if tied up by a strong rope. Only the devotees can cut off the knot of this strong rope very easily by engaging themselves in Krishna consciousness. Others who are not in Krishna consciousness, who are trying to become great mystics or great ritual performers, cannot advance like the devotees. Therefore, it is the duty of everyone to engage himself in the activities of Krishna consciousness in order to be freed from the tight knot of false ego and engagement in material activities."
So this is very important statement. Not very important. I mean, the way Srila Rupa Goswami presents nectar of devotion is that everywhere he keeps citing various verses to back his analysis. So, if you go to these people who are into this impersonalism and all such kind of people who follow such different paths, they really don't accept the Puranas. They say that only Upanishads are the parts of the Vedas. But Jiva Goswami does a lot of analysis on this aspect and very clearly establishes that even Puranas are also the parts of the Vedas. Okay, they say that, Smriti, Puranas are considered as Smriti. Smritis are not on an equal standings of Shruti. Which are all Shruti? The Vedas, the Upanishads are called as Shruti. And what are the Nyaya? Nyaya is the nothing but it is the Vedanta Sutras are the Nyaya or the logic. So, our Acharyas have done enough analysis to say to the world that Puranas are also equally authentic in nature. So now here, Rupa Goswami quotes Srimad Bhagavatam. Because this is very important now. Now first what they will say, hey, your Puranas are not right. So that's why I will use only Shruti. So they'll not even accept this analysis. This is a problem. But there are enough citations within the scriptures, in the Upanishads and in the Vedas to say that even Puranas are also are on of equal standing. And Rupa Goswami also says in the same matter of devotion that Smriti, the Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatriki Vidim Vina Aikantiki Pate Utpata Eva Kalpate. If you do some kind of a so-called devotion service, which is nothing to be referenced as per Shruti, Smriti, Puranas, Pancharatriki Vidhi, so then that bhakti is only Aikantika bhakti and which only creates Utpata. So now let us understand the analysis of this particular evidence. Wherein Sanat Kumara says in the 4th canto, 22nd chapter. So this is a conversation where, if I'm not wrong, the Sanat Kumaras have with Pruthi Maharaj. The Pruthi Maharaj receives lessons from the Sanat Kumaras. So my dear king, the false ego of a human being is so strong that it keeps him in material existence as if tied up by a strong rope. So how false ego ties us to this material world is a very, very important analysis we have to do it and apply ourselves to the same. Only the devotees can cut off the knot of the strong rope very easily. I think last Tuesday or last Wednesday class, Madhupandi Prabhu was dealing with this topic also. I would request all of you to read the same. Only the devotees can cut off the knot of the strong rope very easily by engaging themselves in Krishna consciousness. Because the very process of devotional service is that I do it with intent, with the right intent. The right intent of becoming a love servant, a servant who does devotional service out of love and affection to Krishna. Okay? Or his servants like acharyas, others. So others who are not in Krishna consciousness but are trying to become great mystics or great ritual performers or cannot advance like the devotees. As we said, in other cases, you have to do your own effort. There is no God in your equation. So if you are doing 10x, you have to still do 10x, 11x, 12x and all of those. God will not come in front and then takes you forward. But whereas in the case of devotional service, you are doing 10x, God will come forward 90x and then take you forward. Huh? That is first thing. Second thing is that in the case of Krishna conscious activity, how does the ego get purified?
Because it is a serving mode that you're already going with. That sense of proprietorship and controllership is not there.
Correct. Because the nature of ego is what? False ego is that you are identifying again and again falsely. Again and again identifying falsely. That the soul is still seeing the same matter. Okay. We are doing all this yoga, this, that, so many things you are doing, but still the soul is seeing the same body. But when you are doing devotion service, what you are doing, you are not identifying yourself with this body, or at least not trying to identify with this body, trying to identifying with Krishna, trying to identifying with his service, trying to be, away from our false ego. That is the main important thing. That the very act of devotional service is based on not on the tottering platform of the self, but it is on the platform of Sat. The yogis who are following the path of impersonal method, what they will say, I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. Idam na mama, I am not this body, I am not this matter, I am not this, I am nothing to do with this one. But because they don't have the understanding of what I am, they don't have an understanding of what is right action. So we have to keep on reflecting these things in this context of purifying one's desire. Purifying one's desire. So let's read on to the next one. This tight knot of false ego.
This tight knot of false ego is due to ignorance. As long as ignorant about his identity, he is sure to act wrongly and thereby become entangled in material contamination. This ignorance of factual knowledge can also be dissipated by Krishna consciousness, as is confirmed in the Padma Purana as follows. Pure devotional service with Krishna consciousness is the highest enlightenment. And when such enlightenment is there, it is just like a blazing forest fire, killing all the inauspicious snakes of desire. The example is being given in this connection that when there is a forest fire, then extensive blazing automatically kills all the snakes in the forest. There are many snakes on the ground of the forest, and when a fire takes place, it burns the dried foliage and the snakes are immediately attacked. Animals who have 4 legs can flee from the fire or can at least try to flee, but the snakes are immediately killed. Similarly, the blazing fire of Krishna consciousness is so strong that the snakes of ignorance are immediately killed.
Yeah. So this is the important reason why we say that Krishna consciousness is the only solution to quickly get out of this sinful desires. What is the thing? That the false ego is due to ignorance, and as long as one is ignorant about his identity, he is sure to act wrongly. Because moment identity is not yet purified, you will do some kind of the other sinful activity. What when identity is not purified, what we will do? We will do lording over, and we will enjoy independent of Krishna. And when we try to do lording over and enjoy independent of Krishna, 2 things will definitely will happen. What will happen? First is we'll either try to do it legitimately. We try to do it through in a pious way. We try to pious way enjoying this world, pious way doing the lording of this world. Okay, slowly that line is very thin line, right? Okay, between what is pious and what is impious. I will get into the other side of the line. That okay, ठीक है यार, मतलब I'm lording over for a while, इतना सारा अच्छा पुण्य आ गया है. So you will cross the thin line of what is dharma and what is adharma, and end up doing sinful activity to satisfy your desires. Because desire is not limited. Desire is coming from the living entity, which is wrongly identifying, and the desire is unlimited because why? The living entity is always seeking Satchidananda. And when it is seeking Satchidananda, it is seeking Satchidananda in the material realm where the rules and regulations exist. And desire has to be done in the rules and regulations. And the living entity doesn't want rules and regulations. It wants to enjoy independent of that rules and regulations. Because that is constitutional position of that living entity. And hence, the suffering is inevitable unless the identity is purified. So the main thing is identity has to be purified, and this can be purified by acting in Krishna consciousness. What also happens when we act in Krishna consciousness? Atha Sri Krishna Namadi Nabhavet Grahimindriyai Evonmukhe Jihvado Swayameva Purachadaha. So that what you call the knowledge of Krishna and all of those things will get automatically when the person starts doing devotional service. So when we do devotional service, what happens? The knowledge gets revealed automatically in the person's heart. So in that way, one gets out of this ignorance, one gets out of all of these struggles and go back to Krishna. And that's the pure devotional service. So with that, we will end. If anybody has any questions, because now we have come to one conclusion of one section of the chapter of characters of pure devotional service. Next, we'll cover the Krishna consciousness is all auspicious. Anybody has any questions online?
So, Prabhu, and we were discussing with one of the neighbors here.
Ah.
So, about the word kama. Right?
Huh.
Prabhupada uses lust in many places.
Hmm.
But they were saying, why is Prabhupada using the word lust in many places? It should be the desire. The word should be translated as desire. Now, the question I have is, now in 14th chapter also, Krishna is saying, right, it is lust only, that is the cause and all that. So what is at the root? Is it the desire that is causing the lust, or is it the lust which is causing the desire? If the desires could be many. I was not able to answer that.
Yes. So now there is a light that is coming from the soul.
Mhm.
Okay. Now there are different masks which are put in between in the light. Because of the mask, there is a reflection which is happening saying that this is you. Right? So that is the real issue.
Hmm.
When does the desire becomes karma?
Hmm.
When there is a wrong identity. So now why Prabhupada has translated karma as not as desire but as lust? Because we don't want to eradicate desire. We cannot eradicate desire. We can eradicate lust. Uh, so that's why when the acharyas come to from the spiritual world to the material world, they will redefine the existing words which are colloquially used in a different manner by the society at large. So that the right meaning of the same words is understood.
So you don't want to kill desire because you have to keep the desire to serve Krishna instead of serving yourself.
Correct. Desire is essential, quintessential. Desire cannot be destroyed because you cannot attack something which is impossible, right?
Hmm.
Huh? Desire is constitutional. You cannot remove it.
Now in the Madhurya Bhava,
Hmm.
which is the topmost,
Hmm.
but there it is not lust,
Hmm.
isn't it?
Correct.
Though the way you are associating with the Lord is very different from a Vatsalya or a Sakya, but that is not defined as lust there.
See, we should examine these things always from our own experience of desiring independent of Lord.
Hmm.
Right? So in most of our actions, okay, be it the the highest thing in terms of the sex desire, which which is the real thing, which is binding on this in this world, you would see that everywhere the attention is towards enjoying independent of Krishna, and lording over. So these two things, principles which keep on acting in our thing, and sex desire is the highest. But whereas, if you see the gopis' devotion to Krishna was so much that even in the midst of the Rasa Leela, they did not want anything for themselves. Okay. They didn't want to enjoy themselves at all. Okay. They didn't want to lord over Krishna at all. They didn't want to lord over anything else. Okay. So that is the unique status of the gopis. That is why that is prema, it is not kama.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. It is there is not even a tinge of Atmendriya Preeti. There 100%, what you call unalloyed. Okay. That's why Prabhupada uses the word unalloyed. There's a story now when Prabhupada lands in Boston, he sees on one warehouse in the harbor, unalloyed steel company. That's why he picks the word unalloyed. Okay. So, Gopis' devotional service, Gopis' desiring is so unalloyed that it is not even mixed with any tinge of lording over or any tinge of enjoying. So that is the, ultimate, not penultimate, an ultimate way of expression of desiring. That's why Madhurya Rasa is so unique.
Prabhu,
So maybe some other time we have to analyze, how in Madhurya Rasa, how Parakiya is more important than Swakiya. So we have to understand that. Because actually gopis are not known for Swakiya. Gopis are known for Parakiya. Means what? Not Swamboja, but it's in separation. They are known for not for the queens of Dwaraka, where they had Swakiya Rasa. They are not known for that. They are known for Parakiya, means what? Completely being Krishna had rejected them, kind of. Though never Krishna had rejected, okay, did not come back. Right? So that is where the worship of gopis is very, very exalted. And that even if Lord, stamps me, doesn't matter. Still, he continues to be my Lord, life after life.
yes, Prabhu,
If I
pure
can
love is
just ask one more
defined by
question.
Yeah.
This is Vatsalya Rasa. I mean,
Yes.
is motherly, right?
Hmm.
So mother also in that sense is like that, where she is not seeking any pleasure for herself. But it's only for the Lord. So isn't it very similar to the Gopi Baba also then? Though it is motherly, but the end result as such.
no, Prabhu. In the gopis,
So,
the pure love is.
We have to
based
study
on-
the motherly affection of material world and material affection of the spiritual world. First understand that difference. And then come to whether and compare with motherly affection versus that of Madhurya, whether Swakiya or Parakiya. Because Swakiya and Parakiya are both more than the Vatsalya Rasa. Right? In the Vatsalya Rasa, what is happening? There is a relationship between that of a mother and the child. Mother is providing to the child in a very, very unexpected stage, wherein the child cannot ask anything. Okay, mother will keep on providing to the needs of the child, right? In the material world, what does Yashoda Maya do to Krishna?
Very similar.
Is it very
So
similar?
providing, making the right arrangements.
Right, anxiety. She's having a lot of anxiety. Krishna should not get hurt. Hmm? What else is the reason? Why? Let's think about it. I want others to contribute. It's a very important question. These are important questions we should understand. Because all of these things will come in the NOD.
She's actually getting pleasure by serving.
Will the mother in this world not get the same pleasure by serving?
And it is not pleasure.
Mother is like the material mother likes to do that to the child. So it is similar only in my opinion, what Yashoda Maya is doing.
What is the issue?
Well, after some time, mother starts expecting.
Mm.
After some time. Whereas we don't read about Yashoda's expectations ever. And after he left also.
Yes, first thing is that because even the mothers of this world are having independent desires to lord over and also want to enjoy in this world, right? So now when lord over is onto the child sometimes reacts and says that, no, I don't want to get lord over by you. Correct? That's where the issue starts coming up, right? So hence, you cannot necessarily compare. Even the motherly affection is definitely the most purest form, it is said, in terms of unexpected, without any expectations doing that service to the living entity. But the problem here is the living entity is not as pure as Krishna.
Hmm.
Right? That's why there is a reactions over there. What if the living entity is a pure devotee? Huh? What if the living entity is a pure devotee? Is that service to the pure devotee, okay, by that particular mother or father, is like a Vatsalya rasa, or is it subordinate to serving Krishna?
Subordinate, no? Kapila and Devahuti, we see.
No, they serve Krishna himself as
Okay.
Kapila. You have to study this, analyze, and then come back. Okay, I will not answer this question now. But now the question is different question here. You had a question about why Vatsalya rasa is subordinate to Madhurya rasa. Right? I don't specifically remember. It comes in the nectar of devotion. I will try to share the answer. Okay. Do you remember, Shod bro? It'll come in the second part. The second part, not in the part one. I don't exactly remember what is the exact thing. But anyway, I will share the note. Once I go through that, and I'll share the note. What exactly is the thing where the Madhurya rasa is that extra additional thing which is there, which is not there in Vatsalya rasa. Say in the Sakya rasa, Krishna is on equal with his cowherd boys and cowherd friends or whatever, girls or whatever. They're on equal level. There's no point of being provided to Krishna. In Vatsalya rasa, you become providing to Krishna. So there are elder Gopas like Balaramji, and even the little elder Gopas. They will be always in the bhava of protecting Krishna. That in the Vatsalya bhava, that protectiveness will come more. Okay. But in the Madhurya rasa, what happens? I want to be more specific scripturally. I'll come back with an answer. Sir, bro?
Online, they have question.
What is the question?
Prabhu, in the Madhurya Rasa, it is governed
Oh,
by
you
two
sent me a photo?
factors.
No, yes, I want to say something. Hare Krishna, Ram Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
You can ask question.
Yeah. In pure love is defined by two factors. One is
One minute, you are not audible here. 1 minute, I'm just.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, is it clear now?
Mhm.
Hare Krishna.
Hi, now it's audible.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
In pure love, which is Madhurya Rasa, it is governed by two factors, which is the one is in separation and the second is uncertainty. Whereas in Vatsalya Rasa, there is no uncertainty. This was the point which I wanted to tell at that time.
Probably. I do not know. It
Yeah,
could
because
be
the Brajavasis were always uncertain about Krishna, and that is why they were always in uncertain about when he will return back from Mathura and back to Vrindavan, and even the gopis were also very uncertain, and that was the Madhurya Rasa which Krishna enjoyed with the gopis, including Srimati Radharani.
But then what is the reason why Swakiya Madhurya rasa is higher than Vatsalya rasa?
No, no, Swaki Vatsalya Rasa. No, I didn't get your point. Can you repeat again, Prabhu?
Why is Swakiya Madhurya rasa is higher than the Vatsalya rasa?
No, in that case, the other 8 principal queens of Krishna remained with Krishna, and Krishna had also,
So there is a certainty over there.
there is a certainty over there, and the other factor was there was no separation.
Correct.
So, but
So
in
these two things are there even in Vatsalya Rasa also.
in Vatsalya Rasa it is there, but in Madhurya Rasa it is totally governed by separation and uncertainty.
No, that is only for, that is in the Vipralamba Seva. Vipralamba
Yes,
Seva.
Prabhu. Yes,
I am
Prabhu. And the
talking about
gopis.
Samboja.
Yes, Prabhu. That I am not aware. Only I could only just
Yeah,
conclude on this particular thing.
So that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I would like to study and come back. Okay. And give a more specific answer. Okay, now that we are done, any other questions? Okay. So Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Samarthya Sindhu ki jai. So we have to take back the DTs. And then